Hey, how's everybody doing out there? And it's time for another Everything and Nothing podcast with your boy from Brooklyn, Shannon Ambrosio. Just saying, I hope everybody has had a wonderful, wonderful week and had an enjoyable weekend. So what's everybody doing out there? How's everybody doing? So let's see what's going on here. Let's see if we got sound. Let's see if we got all those things that we need for the Everything and Nothing podcast. So how's everybody doing out there? So how many people have been out there in the backyard barbecuing? How many people? Come on, folks. Talk to me. Talk to me. Let me know what's going on out there. Let me know if you guys have been outside in the yard barbecuing, because we all love barbecue, especially. Hey, let's see what she got to say. She's selling the solar power bank on my live stream. So I don't know if anybody needs one of those, but solar power bank. So I think the solar power bank, those are pretty cool. I had one of those things when I was out on the road doing Big Bad Barbecue Brawl. I had one of those solar powered power banks, and it worked good. And it's useful if you're outside. So if you're outside hanging out and you want to make sure your phone stays charged, or when the charge goes down, you go and get one of those solar power banks, or get just the power bank and at your house before you run out the door, make sure you charge it and then take it with you so that you could just throw the phone on there. They have it now, right? Because I had my old phone case had the chargeable power bank. So the phone case was actually a charger. So you charge the phone case, you throw the phone in there, and then when you go out, when the battery starts to run low, when it gets at like 15%, boom, you're hitting the button in the back of the phone case, and it charges the phone. It's that simple. Bing, bang, boom, ba, Bob's your uncle, folks. No joke. So just some helpful tech information from your boy from Brooklyn, Shannon Ambrosio. How's the sound out there? The sound has been getting better. Like the sound, I think, is much more crisp and clear and full. I'm really digging it, the whole idea, right? So I changed some of the lighting, the sound. I put a sound cloud, or what they call a sound or cloud lifter, sound cloud lifter. And basically what it does, and I took it off. I had it on before, and I took it off because I was running some tests with the audio because of the cloud lifter. And I was like, let me try this out because I want to see if it makes, and it does. It amplifies the sound. It adds, I don't know what they call it, but it adds sound to the line, right? So in other words, when your sound travels, right? So when the sound travels through the microphone into the mixes and all these other things, it travels along the lines. And the further it has to travel, or the longer the line, right? So if you have a really long XLR cable and you really need a short one, it has to travel that whole way in order for the sound to travel to the mixer, and then into the computer, and then into the internet, and out to you folks out there. So I put one of these cloud lifters on there, and yes, it did improve the sound, but it started giving me a hum, right? Because I think the idea of having too many cables plugged in and then it going into the audio interface, I think it kind of creates, some kind of reverb of some kind. So it was sounding really hollow. So I disconnected it, and, I did it the normal way that I always do, right? But that's what's up, right? That's my little technicality difficulties here. I have them almost every week because I'm always trying to do something different or try something new. So, excuse me. And I'm not giving myself the goat today. So, folks, you can forget that one right there. You heard. But you know what we're doing today, right? We're doing the $50 gift card giveaway right here. This was the $50 gift card giveaway. And we're doing that today on the Everything and Nothing podcast right there, right? So I don't like to say anything that's really kind of controversial to what I've done and so on and so forth. But the people at Certified Angus Beef, they sent me gift card to give out to you guys, and I did it during my cooking and eating video that I did with Otto, right? So I did the surf and turf where I cooked a big fat, steak and some shrimp, all right? And it was fantastic. Me and Otto went to culinary school together, and I hope everybody out there is watching my cooking and eating videos and the building and fixing. And you can find the links to those playlists in the description below on this. And make sure you go and check them out if you want. It's up to you. But what I'm disappointed about, and here, this is me. I'm going to throw a little rant. I think that's going to be my thing from now on in the beginning of the podcast, right? And this is the deal. Certified Angus Beef, great product. I use, as a matter of fact, almost all the steaks that I buy and all the meat that I buy is from Certified Angus Beef. That's even before I, talked to these people when they gave me the gift card to give away. But here's my issue with that, right? Is that I reached back out to them, said, oh, thank you very much for the giveaway for my audience, which is fantastic. But they're not following me on social media or my YouTube channel and so on and so forth. So my thing is, you pretentious, how it goes, right? Why do you, that right there is just wrong, right? So created this big video, 22 minutes of advertising for them, plus all the other stuff that I did on my social media. And these people just think it was like just this passe thing, like it didn't matter. Well, I'm going to be giving this away at the end of the podcast, so everybody knows. But yeah, that's my rant. My rant is that everybody wants you to do something for them, but they don't want to return the favors, right? So they gave me the gift card to give away, and they were like, yeah, that's good enough, buddy. Yeah, go do your thing. And I'm like, yeah, nah, now you know who gets the goat this week, right? That's what's up right there. They get the goat. So that's my deal. And I don't really care if they know or they don't know, whatever the case may be. I'm going to give away the $50 gift card, and that's just the way it goes. But yeah, that just was wrong. But anyway, that's me with my rant. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week and enjoying the weekend, because summertime is here where I am on the East Coast, and that's what's up. Summertime is fun time, and we all know that. I try to get out on the scooter as much as I can, but with the weather, I went out the other night on the bike because during the day, it's just too hot, folks. I don't care what anybody says. You be out on that motorcycle during the day, it's not really that cool. Everybody's like, oh, it must be great with the breeze. And no, it's not. If it's hot outside and the wind is blowing, it's like being in a hairdryer. So, that's just how it goes. So on another note, let me know what you guys are doing out there, because I know I've been posting a bunch of pictures on my social media, and all the links to my social media, they're also down below, and you can find me on all these social media platforms. Now, I've been pulling back a lot on the Instagram and the Facebook and all that stuff, and I'm probably going to dumb it down even a little bit more. And I told everybody why last week, right? So the whole idea is that, TikTok and YouTube, knock on wood, these guys are great to their content creators, and they give a small little kickback to everybody who creates content on them, as long as you're monetized. You have over a certain amount of people. And I think that's a great thing, giving back to content creators, because we spend time doing this production-wise and equipment-wise and all that other stuff. And, here's me throwing another one. There's affiliate links down below in the description. If you're curious about any of the equipment that I use, and you click on the affiliate link, if you buy anything when you click on my Amazon affiliate links, your boy gets I get like 0.2% of anything that's sold. You click on something, you buy it. Doesn't matter if it's my equipment or something else. If you purchase something through my affiliate links, your boy gets, so small, it's not even funny. But that really does help the channel, so everybody knows out there. But that being said, here's this week's idea of the podcast, right? And I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching and anybody who's following and subscribed to my social media, my YouTube channel, all that other stuff. So I got a phone call from a friend of mine this week. And it's funny, I worked with him in the trades. And, he calls me every once in a while when he gets, the job is, breaking his balls, and he's upset, and he's, always, what am I going to do? Contemplation. Let me tell you something right now. Contemplating whatever it is that's on your mind is the sure sign of procrastination, which leads to absolutely nothing. I'm telling you, folks, contemplate. Yes, by all means, contemplate your move, your plan, your schedule, the things that you want or think you need to do next. Contemplation is good, and thinking and contemplating about things is a very good idea, right? Because it gives you time for thought and reflection. But too long of that idea of contemplating things, or contemplation just in general, is definitely going to hinder your outcome. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're thinking about something and you contemplate it too long, it means you won't do it. That's the truth. And I'm not like saying that you shouldn't think about the things that you want to do, or when you want to do them, or how you want to do them. You should be contemplating things constantly, right? But if you're contemplating to the point where it's just pure procrastination, then most likely it won't get done, or it's not going to happen. So it's very, it's a very tricky or a the both sides of the coin thing. That yes, you have to think about things and you have to contemplate them for a while, for a certain amount of time, right? Because you want a plan of action, and I talked about this on some of the other podcasts, and you want to have some kind of plan of action to get started and to give yourself incremental goals to get these tasks or the things that you want to do or need to do done, completed, just the way it is. Or contemplation of something that you're thinking about, thinking about doing, where you want to make a change, whether it's relationships, whether it's job careers, it could be anything. But the idea of the contemplation or the idea of the procrastination, it becomes that, right? So it becomes, the contemplation takes too long, it becomes procrastination. And things have a tendency to fall constantly, further and further back, until they become, almost, to most people, it becomes unreachable. It becomes a task that becomes daunting after a while. So think about the things that you want to do and contemplate them. But then there has to be some kind of plan of action eventually, in order for you to move from the contemplating mode into the actual plan of action mode, and then to the actual end goal. I mean, that's really the long and short of it. It's hard sometimes, right? And we get caught up in this idea of the dailies that really hinder the amount of things that we get done, or the amount of things we want to do, because we're always involving all this daily, activities, or the things that we have to do, which creates the contemplation after a while, right? Because it's like, well, I have to go to work, and then I have to either take care of my kids, or take care of my family, or take care of this, or take care of that. And then the things that you'd like to do, or want to do, or would like to see happen, you're always contemplating them. And you're never getting into the mode of, okay, let me do these few things. Think about how I can get to that thing I really want to do, and then get to it. So contemplation leads to procrastination if there's never a plan of action. And those are things are hard to think about sometimes, because we let a lot of other things overwhelm us at times, which makes us have that idea that the thing that we're contemplating the most doesn't really need to happen. But believe me when I tell you, a lot of times that thing that you're contemplating is the thing that may give you the most relief, or may give you the most satisfaction, or even better, may give you the biggest reward for what it is that you are looking for yourself. So you have to sometimes put the contemplation into action in order to have that procrastination thing kind of, fade away. Otherwise, you can become like the thinker, right? We all know that famous statue, the thinker. And the problem is he he thinking in between what he's done or going to do, or is he just sitting and thinking and never getting to where he needs to be or wants to be? So I find that thinking is a very much needed thing, because we have to think about the process of things on different scales, depending on what our lifestyles are. But the downright idea of contemplation after a while will set in, and that's what drives, and I talked about this in some of the other podcasts, that's what drives my OCD and my anxiety up a lot, is because if I think about something too long without getting into it, and that's why I always have a lot of projects going on. We all know, right? If you know me out there, and I got a million things sometimes going on at one time. But it's the idea that I don't like to contemplate things that much before I start them, before I take a plan of action. I kind of think about it for a little while. I told you I write my plans down. I get my notebooks out, my little sketch pads, my computer. I do my research and do all my things, and I contemplate while I'm doing these things. So I'm getting the idea of contemplating things and thinking about them, but I'm also strategically planning something to happen eventually. And here we go. We're getting the super chats already. What? Let's see what's going on here in the super chat. Let's throw the super chat. Thank you. That's what's up right there. Yolanda, always thank you very much for all your support and everything. And everybody, I say this too, because the idea of the super chat, yes, it supports the channel. That's what I do. It supports the content that I put out there. So thank you very much. And, here we go. We're going to go through the whole gamut, right? The ENN Studios, that's the Everything and Nothing Studios, and that's where I do all my filming, right? So over here, and when I do the cooking and eating, and then in my shop in the garage, I do my building and fixing, and inside the ENN Studios is where I do my live stream of my podcast. Hope you guys are doing that. Now listen to me, you know how it goes. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and you like my content? It really helps. This whole algorithm of YouTube thing, I learn it as I go. I read, I do a little more research, I listen to other YouTubers, and I kind of get these things worked out, right? So throw that thumbs up there. And if you think anybody, listen to me, if you think anybody may like the live stream, share it now. Go on, you're on YouTube right now, hit the share button, send this to somebody else, email, text message, whatever. And, they get to enjoy the live stream of the Everything and Nothing podcast with your boy. So do that too, right? Any questions and comments, please just leave them below. Anything you want to ask, as long as it's not too personal, because then you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to get to go. So don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're going to get a...
Oh, hell no.
All right. Don't get that, right? You heard? And don't forget, so you do not miss any of the videos that I post or when I'm going live on my live stream. Here we go. We got the delay sometimes. Get your bell rung so you get notified when I put something up on my YouTube channel right there. It helps, folks. You heard? So that's my thought process on that, is that if you truly, and here's the thing about contemplating too, right? If you truly want to get to something and you have this idea that it means that much to you, the contemplating idea won't last that long. You really won't contemplate things too long, because here's a helpful hint, okay? And you'll hear a lot of successful people and people who do a lot of things, is that you have to eventually get started to understand if it's going to work, if it's not going to work, and you adjust it as you go. Not everything, right? Because the variables in everything can change daily. I said this before, one of my biggest mantras is that the only constant in life, believe me when I tell you, is change. No 2 days will be exactly the same. It is not possible. I don't care what anybody says. The weather changes on a daily basis, and we change our lives accordingly. And that's just the way it goes. So contemplation leads to procrastination, which leads to the desecration of your your ideas, your plans, your actions, the things you want to see get done, the things you want to see happen. So contemplating is good, but thinking about things too long. See, you can't work out every variable without actually getting started, right? It's it's the old saying that Dewey had, is that you can read 100 books on building the bridge, but until you build the bridge, you're not a bridge builder. You don't know what it takes to build a bridge. And how else would you know how to do something unless you get started? It's a true fact, right? I talk about a lot of people that I love to listen to and hear what they have to say, and their philosophies and the way they think about things, because they're deep thinkers. And my favorite thinker, one of my favorite, talkers and teachers out there was a guy named Joseph Campbell. And he was amazing. And if anybody doesn't know, Joseph Campbell actually was the one who helped Lucas write the original Star Wars trilogies. So the idea is that the journey, it's all about the journey, and that you can't think about everything before the journey happens. The journey has to happen. The things that the train's going by. And
my God, are you still talking?
Yes, I am. And you know what threw me off? The train horn. So it's
oh my God, who the hell cares?
I do. Sometimes I do. And hopefully the rest of you guys out there, sometimes you do too. But the idea is that when I listen to these people talk about certain things, it resonates with me, right? It resonates to the fact that I listen a lot to these people because what they say makes sense. The idea of the experience, you can't discount the amount of experience from certain people and the things that they've done, right? So when somebody says to you, right, when you're contemplating about something, and maybe you ask somebody for advice, or you listen to somebody because maybe you think their insight has a little something. Believe me when I tell you, when somebody tells you something, it's not because they haven't. It's because they have. And they've had an experience, or having an experience that they don't want to see you have as well. Right? So when somebody says to you, you're like, we've all, I don't even have children and stuff like that, and you say to your kids, so listen to me, it's not a good idea. I've been there and done that, and it didn't work out too well. Hey, listen to me. You can choose to listen, or you can sit there and contemplate it. It's up to you. But here it is, me telling everybody is, if you don't have to go down the road with all the bumps, why do that? Why go down? Why contemplate going down the road with all the bumps when somebody else has already gone over the bumps and kind of smoothed them out? And they're letting you know, listen to me. I know the bumps are there. I went down that road. I smoothed that bump out. Don't do that. Try the smoother way. Most of the time, you should be listening, right? Also take it with a grain of salt. Depends on where it's coming from, right? Don't be taking no advice from some knuckleheads out there. Some people just got no business giving nobody advice, right? It's the person who's all strung out and telling you really shouldn't do that. And I go, yeah, well, not a good place to be taking advice from. So, those are the factors of contemplation that really have people procrastinating to get past that next step. A lot of people are looking for, like, man, if I do this, what's going to happen? So if you're not sure and you're contemplating something that you think may not work out or may work out, go listen to somebody who's been there or done that or is trying or, who has succeeded at something that you're thinking about doing. And maybe just listen a little bit. We all need to make our own little mistakes. We all need to, have those things and not everybody's journey follows the same road. But if you know somebody who's traveled a path that's similar to the one that you're thinking about or, want to do, just a little bit of thought process of thinking and listening, it does work, and if you don't have to if you don't have to travel down the road with as many bumps as you think there may be, maybe smooth out some of the bumps. it makes it a little bit easier, right? So I'm going to see if this works over here, because I absolutely just adore this man, Jordan Peterson, and I don't know, everybody, listens to certain things and captures something different, right? Because we could all read the same book and everybody get a different message, right? That's just the way it is. It's your mind, your thought process. So the idea of thinking about things differently is good, but the serious idea of contemplation leads to procrastination. It's a true fact. So when you're thinking about contemplating something, try and listen. Go around and listen to other people who have done these things, or listen to somebody who's kind of thought about who's contemplated the things that you're thinking about now, and maybe came up with a really good result. So let me see if this works here. I want to introduce you guys and just listen for a minute. I hope this thing comes out. Let's see if this works.
Set up some aims for yourself, goals that you actually value. And the Future Authoring Program helps people do that. And basically, it does a situational analysis it helps you do a situational analysis of your life more than a psychological analysis, I would say. And so the questions are something like, well, all right, you're going to have to put some effort into your life, and you need to be motivated to do that. And so what are the potential sources of motivation? Well, you could think about them in the big five manner. If you're extroverted, you want friends. If you're agreeable, you want an intimate relationship. If you're disagreeable, you want to win competitions. If you're open, you want to engage in creative activity. If you're high in neuroticism, you want security. Okay, so those are all sources of potential motivation that you could draw on, that you could tailor to your own, your own personality. But then there are dimensions that you want to consider your life across. And so we ask people about, well, if you could have your life the way you wanted it in 3 to 5 years, if you were taking care of yourself properly, what would you want from your friendships? What would you want from your intimate relationship? How would you like to structure your family? What do you want for your career? Well, how are you going to use your time outside of your job? And how are you going to regulate your mental and physical health, and maybe also your drug and alcohol use? Because that's a good place to auger down, because alcoholism, for example, wipes out, 5 to 10% of people. So you want to keep that under control. And then so maybe you develop a vision of what you would like your life to be, and that associates the goal. Once the goal is established, and then you break down the goal into micro processes that you can implement. The micro processes become rewarding in proportion, in relation to their causal association with the goal, and that tangles in your incentive reward system. We talked about the dopaminergic incentive reward system, and that's the thing that keeps you moving forward. And the way it works is that it works better if it produces positive emotion when it can see you moving towards a valued goal. Okay, well, what's the implication of that? Better have a valued goal, because otherwise you can't get any positive motivation working out. And so the more valuable the goal, in principle, the more the micro processes associated with that goal start to take on a positive charge. And so what that means is, well, you get up in the morning and you're excited about the day, you're ready to go. And so as far as I can tell, what you do is you specify your long-term ideal. Maybe you also specify a place you want to stay the hell away from, so that you're terrified to fail as well as excited about succeeding, because that's also useful. You specify your goal. You do that in some sense as a unique individual. You want to specify goals that make you say, oh, if that could happen as a consequence of my efforts, it would clearly be worthwhile. Because the question always is, why do something? Because doing nothing is easy. You just sit there and you don't do anything. That's real easy. The question is, why would you ever do anything? And the answer to that has to be because you've determined by some means that it's worthwhile. And then the next question might be, well, where should you look for worthwhile things? And one would be, well, you could consult your own temperament. And the other would be, well, you kind of look at what it is that people accrue that's valuable across the lifespan.
So I could sit and watch and listen to Jordan for a long time. And sometimes I do, and sometimes these things mean enough to me where I think listening is important. And trying to remove some of the contemplation out of the things that I do and move me into that plan of action mode. So we don't always need to get advice, or we don't always need to listen to somebody else, because a lot of times when we're contemplating, we're really talking to ourselves. We're either trying to talk ourselves into something or talk ourselves out of something. And I find that truly amazing, right? I find the fact that if we listen to our instincts and we trust ourselves a lot more than we give ourselves credit for, the contemplation becomes progression, right? And that's why I'm always talking about I'm obsessed with progress, is because the contemplating thoughts that I have, I really try my hardest to give myself enough push or that little bit of oomph, because we all need that sometimes, right? We all need that kick in the ass to get to that next thing, to think about that next part of the process of what we want to get done or what we'd like to achieve, right? So the contemplating idea that I give myself a lot of times is mostly just the reassurance that I can get this thing done, or that I can get to the next step that I'd like to get to. It's hard sometimes, because if we look at, if we go back into our past a lot of times and we say, well, I tried that before and it didn't work out, and man, I don't think it's going to work out again. I'll tell you this right now, I don't care what anybody tells you, you already talked yourself out of it, right? I learned these things a long time ago from my pops, when he would say to me, before I would step into the ring to fight, and he would say to me, listen to me, today's your day. Today is your day, champ, because you did all the homework. You did the road work. You trained. You thought about it. You're here, which means you are ready for the next step. You are ready to get into that ring. You are ready to be the champion, or the champ you think you really are. It's because you've done all those other things to line you up to where you'd like to be. So if you'd like to see these certain things for yourself better in a better light, then you have to do all those things beforehand, right? I say this a lot, and that's luck. It favors the prepared. It's not going to put somebody in a position, and it's very rare, right, where you go and you do something and automatically, I talked about this last time, is that, oh, you didn't need any practice and that was it, and you're an amazing superstar right off the bat. It's just not the way it works. You do need to contemplate, but you don't need to procrastinate. Remember, the idea of contemplating something is because you are ready to make that next move. The things that you are thinking about doing, you will do. And you will succeed at them as long as you are prepared to succeed, as long as you are prepared and did all those things prior to being where you are. Sometimes jumping in with both feet is the way it needs to happen. Sometimes you can't think about things too long because maybe the opportunity won't be there. Or maybe the essence of the feeling of the thing that you want to do is gone. So contemplate. Yes, think about the things that you would like to do, or places you'd like to be, or people you'd like to be with. And think about them and prepare yourself and put yourself in that place where procrastination no longer becomes part of the plan. Make sure that the plan of action is the next step, not the constant contemplation. It's a very hard place to see past. Right? Because contemplation means that eventually you'll get to it. But too long means that you won't. And that's a true message. And, if you listen to Jordan, or maybe now, I put a link to Jordan Peterson's YouTube channel in the description below. Go listen to the guy, he's kind of a balance of both. And Joseph Campbell, and the man has passed away. But he's just amazing, right? The idea of the journey, right? I follow that path of the journey because we all have it. Whether you want to think you're on a journey or not, that's totally up to you. But your life totally is made up of the journey that you are on. Whether you planned it or whether you didn't, that's your journey. These are the places the places you go and the thoughts you have are going to put you exactly where you are. And that's the truth. And, sometimes I think about those things too, right? The reflecting is part of contemplating, when you reflect on the things you've done or the things you'd like to do. And I think we all do it a lot more than we realize. And I think that's what puts us in the state of procrastination. I suffer from it too sometimes. We all know. I mean, I'm a 100-mile-an-hour person, but there are times when I'm just, all I want to do is think about it, and I don't actually get to it. That's the toughest part for me. I think horrible relationships with my children. It's not a good thing, but the constant contemplating of things is what puts the procrastination, it sets it in and it embeds itself. And sometimes it's very hard to get away from it. But I say it because it's something that I think about on a constant basis. So I try not to let the procrastination set in. And I contemplate to a point where my ideas or ideals have to take action eventually. And I pass that on to everybody, and I say this a lot, in that you have to get started, including me. We all need to get started. Don't let your contemplation become your procrastination. And here's me plugging it out and going to town, folks. I know everybody's got that in them, right?
My God, are you still talking?
Yes. And listen to me, folks. Please, any questions, any comments, just leave them below. I really do enjoy open dialogue. I understand not everybody feels the same way. Not everybody, like I said, hears the same thing also. And we all shouldn't. We all need that difference in the way we feel about things. Otherwise, we'd be robots. And that's just the truth of it all, right? And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you're doing that, folks. Subscribe. This way you are. And you ring that bell, folks. Get your bell rung, because you'll get notified when I throw something up on YouTube. I think I'm planning on doing another cooking video this week, And that's the long and short of it. And I know everybody out there is subscribed to my social media, but if you're not, in case, go down in the description below and, subscribe to my social media right there. And you know what's coming up, right? I got to do the giveaway, and that's how it goes. All my folks out there. And I enjoy doing the podcast, and I love doing it on YouTube, right? My idea of the production, because I had the television show for a while, I love the idea of the camera and the visual part of doing the podcast. I love the visual aspect of filming when I do the cooking and eating, and the building and fixing. It really does. It resonates with me. So the idea of the video application. But in case you wanna, right, over here, right on this side right here, is where the podcast lives, just on the audio platform. So you can go over to any of those. It takes me a day to post it up there. So, don't get mad at me if it's not up right after this. Yeah, heard. So go over to any of those audio platforms over there, and you can listen to the podcast too, right? So it's in the description below. Oh, what happened here? We got to fix that. What happened? What? What's going on here? What happened? Oh, okay. So do that, all right? And I just love all these buttons. I'm sorry. And if you like my content, please throw a thumbs up, throw a like. This algorithm thing, just make sure you do it. And most of my social media content now is living on the TikTok. So I'm just really using the TikTok now, and my YouTube, and a little bit on Instagram. So, follow me on all those things and see what's going on right there. Otherwise, you're going to get don't get to go, folks. You heard? That's what's up right there. Now, right, this $50 gift card giveaway right here. All right. That's the one right there from Certified Angus Beef, right? And I did like this whole thing with the how you find random people, right? So I did the whole thing over here and YouTube, and it went by the amount of first of all, nobody even did a post on the keep your meat moist thing from my video, which, I mean, I'm not upset about it, but hey, listen, that's just the way it goes, right? Some people want to be involved, and some people just want to talk about being involved. So that's the idea. But here you go, right here. The winner of the $50 gift card giveaway, based on all my social media, YouTube, and all that stuff, and the person, believe it or not, who made all the comments, that's how it goes. I do this random picking thing, so it's not like I pick it. I don't pick the winner. The the whole random computer thing picks the winner, and Thomas Mad Dog was the winner for the $50 gift card. So Thomas, my man Thomas Mad Dog, right there, partner. You won the $50 gift card. So you're going to DM me on Instagram, and you'll send me your address and all that, and I'll mail this out to you ASAP, buddy. You got to use it by October, right? And it's a $50 gift card. I think it's pretty much just like a real Visa card, but the Visa card is by Certified Angus Beef. And they prefer if you use it at a restaurant or you purchase certified Angus beef for, and that's what I did. They gave me a gift card for myself, and I went and bought, that's the steak I used on the cooking and eating video, which you can find the cooking and eating videos in the description below. Okay. So do that. This way you don't get the hammer. So go down in the description below, and you can find the cooking and eating and the building and fixing videos. And take a look. Share, like I said, do the whole share thing for me. Go over there, share my YouTube stuff. I'm sure other people may find me totally amusing. And sometimes I sit and laugh. When I'm contemplating, I laugh at the things I think about. Now, that's funny shit right there.
My God, are you still talking?
Hey, cut that out, all right? Now, Thomas Mad Dog, hit me up on Instagram on the DM. Send me your address, all right, Thomas? And this way I can send you out that $50 gift card right there, right? And then when you get the $50 gift card, whatever you do, just, hashtag restaurant challenge and keep your meat moist and tag us in your post right there. That'll be pretty cool right there. So that's it, folks. Listen to me. Don't let contemplation become procrastination. It's a true fact. And when you get a chance, go down in the description, listen to my man Jordan Peterson. He's got a lot to say, and he's all right, that guy. Now, you know how it goes, folks. Every day is a good day. And if you give a smile, you gonna get a smile, folks. Give a bunch of them smiles out there. Let me know what you think about the new setup here. I'm really digging it. I like the idea I'm a little bit closer to you guys. I like the lighting effect in here. I like all these.
Oh, hell no.
The effects that I got going on. They're pretty cool. I'm just enjoying everything. And I hope you guys are out there too. So when you get a chance, show the thumbs up, do the whole 9 yards and all that other stuff. And I got to go. And you guys take care, man. Summertime's here. Get out there and barbecue. All right, all right, all right.